Greetings, Representative Chris Humphrey and Senator Jim Perry. My name is April Fuller, and as your constituent, I'm coming to you today to ask for your help in getting Senate Bill 143, House Bill 185 enacted. Nurses and patients alike have been spending years trying to get this bill passed, and in many other states, there are similar bills that have already been accepted and put into place. I've been practicing in healthcare since 2004. I currently work in Snow Hill, North Carolina, in a correctional facility, a state facility. I've also worked in the state of Virginia. I've traveled to Ghana and done some teaching there, and I look forward to doing more teaching when it comes to healthcare and nursing. Right now, we're in the midst of a national pandemic. We're dealing with something that we don't even have immunization for. We already have so many other healthcare disparities that we're dealing with. But when it comes to this COVID-19, we're looking at something that we need an act in place now so that those who are able to make a change can do so. Now, let's look at a few facts when it comes to what we're dealing with today. Obesity. Obesity is a very prevalent issue for those of us who are in the United States. If we're going to look at the numbers, we're looking at about 42% of the population which falls in this category. That's a large number. Obesity can be caused by a number of different things. Some of those things are preventable, some of those things are reversible. Nevertheless, people need access to quality health care in order for that change to take place. Another prevalent issue that we've been dealing with for many years is substance abuse. Now, when we're looking at substance abuse, we're looking at something where many diseases could follow behind that. For one, we can look at cardiovascular problems, we can look at domestic violence, we can look at child abuse. Along with that, motor vehicle accidents that come along with people who have substance abuse problems. And ultimately, we're looking at people who may turn to suicide and homicide because they're not in the right state of mind. Well, if we look at the United States Census Bureau, the United States population is at about 328 million people. And currently the unemployment rate is 14.7%. Now that's a large unemployment rate. And a lot of that has to do with the pandemic that we're dealing with today. There's never been a more crucial time for us to act and increase the access to quality health care. In April of 2019, North Carolina was one of 12 states which restricted the practice authority of nurse practitioners and certified nurse midwives without the supervision of a physician. There are more than 40 years worth of evidence that supports this legislation. And along with that, 22 states have already enacted similar laws. We are at a time where people need much more coverage than what we did last year. And I'm only sharing with you the numbers from last year. We can only imagine what those numbers are today. In the United States, there are about 1.7 million cases of COVID-19, people who have contracted the virus. And of that number, we have to consider there are over 100,000 COVID-related deaths. Being in a rural area also puts people at a disadvantage because there are not many choices when it comes to quality health care. There are not many choices when it comes to health care in general when we're looking at some certain areas. In nursing, we define health as the absence of illness and disease or a complete state of physical, social, and mental functioning that facilitates the achievements of individuals and also societal goals. Genetics, a lack of access, a lack of knowledge are just a few things which all play a role in many disease processes. Dozens of studies over the last 4 decades have shown time and time again that advanced practice registered nurses can care for patients as well as, sometimes better, than physicians when their scope of practices overlap. All I can do at this point is ask that you do your part in getting this bill to be voted on. Thank you for your time.